I'd like to call the JPS February 16th meeting to order. And under 7E, OMA members can participate virtually. Representative officers, I'm told, are present at the regular meeting location. Online and in-person comment are provided for with all of our great health protocols, and all votes are going to be roll call votes today. With that, Erin, can we have a roll call, please?
Ranahan?
Here.
Member Chaplin?
Here.
Member Covert?
Here.
Member Desart?
Here.
Member Eckhoff?
Here.
Member Garcia? Here. Member Krajewski? Member Ozog?
Here.
Member Pachalski?
Here.
Member Schwarzy?
Here.
Member Selman?
Here.
Member Zay?
Here. Krajewski's here.
All right, great, thank you. I'm advised we have one public comment, or if there's anybody in the room.
Yes, we have an online public comment from Sally Fairbank. Subject, difficulty locating a pending court case. Where can I go on your website to look up a pending court case involving a public entity? The only site I could find related to my issue was the following one. Provides the website included circuit court clerk public information application. One of the options that it listed, the closest one to allow me to search for a court case, was the following: search for your case to review information on case status, next court date, view docket entries, or register your email to receive traffic case updates. I selected the search for your case option and was directed to the following site. Website link included. This directed me to a form. I put in the name of the public entity in the form and tried several different abbreviations because nothing was coming up. The site suddenly told me my session was terminated using some very threatening language implying that I was an unauthorized user of the system. I assumed that this was because I was not looking up a case in which I was a litigant, so technically it wasn't my case. However, there should be a way for members of the public to look up court cases involving public bodies. Also, if someone is trying to use the site should not abruptly end the session after too many tries. In addition, threatening language should not be used to discourage the community member from trying to find information about a court case that is a matter of public record. Please direct me to a process that I can use and other members of the general public can use to look up court cases involving taxpayer-funded public bodies. End of public comment.
Thank you. And do we have anyone in the room that would like to speak?
Can I speak to that? No.
That would be out.
You're ahead of me, Mr. Zay. We should just send that over to our new circuit court clerk, Candace Adams, and then her administrative assistant on things like that is a woman by the name of Mary Heaton. I'm sure they could respond to that to the person and get them directed to the right location.
Okay, thank you, Member Eckhoff. I think it's also a policy decision from that office, but yes. Thank you for that. Moving on to my comments. Again, an invitation has been sent to all of our JPS stakeholders for our March 2nd meeting on obligations and impact under the new criminal justice bill. We are set for 1 p.m. in the boardroom. All the county board is invited and we will be live streamed. I'd like to thank Bob McKellen, the Director of Probation and Court Services, for accepting our invitation to come speak today about his office and some of the challenges he's had during COVID. And also I'd like to give a shout out to our Homeland Security, Murray and his group, for giving us weather updates. And it hasn't been easy this past few days or weeks. So with that, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes of our February 2nd meeting.
So moved, Chaplin.
Second, Selman.
Thank you. Additions, corrections? All right, roll call, please.
Member Chaplin?
Aye.
Member Covert?
Aye.
Member Desart?
Aye.
Member Eckhoff?
Aye.
Member Garcia? Aye. Member Krajewski?
Aye.
Member Ozog?
Aye.
Member Pachalski?
Aye.
Member Schwarzy?
Aye.
Member Selman?
Aye.
Member Zay?
Aye.
Chair Renahan?
Aye, that's approved. Moving on to budget transfers. Do I have a motion to approve? We have a budget transfer from the Sheriff's Merit Commission transferring $1,100 services, advertising, part-time help, and per diem to cover some advertisement and some part-time help.
So move, Schwarzy.
Second, Desart.
Any questions on this item? Roll call, please.
Member Schwarzy,
Aye.
Member Selman,
Aye.
Member Zay,
Aye.
Chair Renahan,
Aye.
Member Chaplin,
Aye.
Member Covert,
Aye.
Member Desart,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
Member Garcia,
Aye.
Member Kajewski,
Aye.
Member Ozog,
Aye.
Member Pachalski.
Aye.
Budget transfer is approved. Do I have a motion? We have a second budget transfer. This one's from the sheriff's office, transferring $20,943 from IT small equipment, professional service, travel expense, instruction and schooling, overtime, to looks like some IMRF, Social Security benefits for employees.
So moved, Desart.
Second Chaplin.
Questions on this item? Roll call, please.
Member Desart,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
Member Garcia,
Aye.
Member Kajewski,
Aye.
Member Ozog,
Aye.
Member Pachalski,
Aye.
Member Schwarzy,
Aye.
Member Selman,
Aye.
Member Zay,
Aye.
Chair Renahan,
Aye.
Member Chaplin,
Aye.
Member Covert.
Right,
Aye.
that is approved. Do I have a motion on JPSP 34-21, a contract purchase order for Alliance Technology Group LLC for upgrade to physical server and support maintenance for 3 years, with a contract total not to exceed $57,554 over 3 years, a lowest bid from the sheriff's office.
Second, Ozog.
Sorry, I didn't hear either.
Second, Ozog.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments on this item?
I apologize. Who moved?
Zay. I'm tired of being called last in roll call.
Zay, the second one goes-
Alphabetic discrimination, Jim.
Lifelong
is.
problem, right, Jim?
I don't want to get into it. It goes all the way back to first grade.
Yeah.
All right, so do we have
Sorry.
any comments with this chatty group this morning? All right, let's have roll call, please.
Member Zay,
Aye.
Chair Renahan,
Aye.
Member Chaplin,
Aye.
Member Covert,
Aye.
Member Desart,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
Member Garcia,
Aye.
Member Kajewski,
Aye.
Member Ozog,
Aye.
Member Pachalski,
Aye.
Member Schwarzy,
Aye.
Member Selman.
Aye.
Thank you, that's approved. Do we have a motion to receive and place on file Public Defender's Office January 2021 monthly statistical report?
So moved Chaplin.
Second,
Second.
Pachalski.
Pachalski, first Chaplin. All right, any questions, comments on this item? Roll call, please.
Chairwoman,
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Member Desart?
thank you, Madam Chair. I did have a couple of questions. Is Mr. York on the call?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Page 22.
Oh, jeez.
My
All right, go ahead.
my question is, what is a PTR?
Petition to revoke. It's a petition the state would file if someone is in violation of their sentence.
All right, thank you. And my second question is, under juvenile delinquency, abuse, and neglect, it says there are 15. My question is, so these could be crimes by juveniles or against juveniles?
Yes, both. We cover both. So we cover both juvenile delinquency, which is kids arrested for committing a crime allegedly. We also represent parents who are accused of abusing or neglecting their kids. So our juvenile division does both of those things.
Okay, I would like to see this broken out into each category. That's just a personal preference, but the juvenile delinquency and then a separate line item for the children who are abused. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions or comments? Mr. York? All right, roll call, please.
Member Chaplin,
Aye.
Member Covert,
Aye.
Member Desart,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
Member Garcia,
Aye.
Member Kajewski,
Aye.
Member Ozog,
Aye.
Member Pachalski,
Aye.
Member Schwarzy,
Aye.
Member Selman,
Aye.
Member Zay,
Aye.
Chair Renahan.
Aye. Thank you. That will be received and placed on file. And with that, I'm very pleased to present our speaker today, Mr. Bob McKellen, Director of Probation and Court Services, to give us just kind of an overview of probation a little bit and what's going on in COVID. Thank you.
Morning. Thank you, Chair Renahan and Vice Chair Pachowski, for inviting me here today to the JPS committee to discuss how probation department has been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic the past 11 months. The probation department has about 180 employees amongst 4 divisions. Included in those divisions, around 30 different functions and services we provide to the court and those on supervision. I'm not going to go over how every function or service was impacted by COVID, as we would be here for hours. I will speak on our general response to the COVID pandemic and highlight a few of our impacted programs. I was promoted to the director position on January 10th of 2020. 2 months later, little did I know we'd be facing a pandemic and stay-at-home orders. We had to continually adjust. It was a challenging year. When the pandemic hit our county last year, the 8,000 people supervised on probation and pretrial services did not just go away. Many of those we supervised suffer from alcohol and substance abuse problems, mental health issues, and other problems. During the pandemic, those issues were magnified. Our department still maintained the responsibility to provide supervision and services to this population. Based on CDC and health department guidelines, we had to continually adjust and find different ways to fulfill the responsibilities of our department. Thanks to the CARES Act funding and help and guidance from the finance department and procurement, we were able to obtain the necessary PPE and other equipment, including laptops, phones, and sanitizing supplies, to continue to effectively supervise our pretrial and probation populations. 2 years ago, I never heard of Zoom or Teams. All of us became proficient at Zoom and Teams technology over the past year, including those under our supervision. Throughout the pandemic, we continued to make contact with our pretrial and probation supervisees via Zoom, phone contact, and socially distanced home, field, and office visits. With these strategies, the monthly contact rates for those under our supervision remained consistent with past years. There was no drop off in contacts with our people, this past year. Utilizing Zoom and Teams, probation continued to conduct groups sessions with our probationers, employment training services, treatment staffings, and team and supervision meetings. The department has its own in-house drug testing lab and program. During the initial stay-at-home order, one of the concerns we had was that our drug testing program would be impacted, especially on those who suffer from opioid addiction. To address this concern, we purchased drug testing materials which enabled us to conduct drug testing remotely or while on our socially distanced home visits. Thanks goes to Mark Thomas and Facilities, who made and installed plexiglass barriers in our interview rooms, electronic monitoring installation room, and in our drug testing area at probation. These barriers enable us to bring more people into the probation department for services, including the resumption of in-house drug testing. Some of you may not know this, but one of the functions probation provides to the court is the completion of DUI evaluations on those facing DUI charges. The evaluations include about 2 hours of in-person interviews and testing of these individuals. Our evaluation program is licensed by the Illinois Department of Human Services, which authorizes us to perform such evaluations. Due to the initial stay-at-home order and the rising COVID numbers, doing in-person interviews was not possible. We sought out and received permission from DHS to complete the evaluations via Zoom. As a result, we were able to continue to complete these court-ordered evaluations in a timely manner for the courts. As you know, any juvenile charge in DuPage County requiring secure detention is detained at the Kane County Juvenile Justice Center. In August, there was a COVID outbreak among the juveniles and staff at that facility. Kane County essentially locked down the facility and put everyone on quarantine status. I will point out that no juveniles from DuPage became infected with COVID. As a result of the outbreak and lockdown, this facility was not accepting any new juveniles requiring detention. We had to act quickly and immediately contacted Will County, who agreed to temporarily accept any juveniles from our county requiring secure detention. We did have several juveniles that were transported to Will County during this time period. One would think that the stay-at-home order entered at the beginning of the pandemic would have resulted in a reduction in probation's workload. The reality is the opposite occurred. Understandably, the sheriff wanted to limit the possibility of COVID spread within the jail, and he took very proactive action to make sure that did not happen. One of the COVID concerns was that work release inmates were leaving and returning to the jail on a daily basis. The decision was made to temporarily furlough those in work release as a precaution. Many of those furloughed work release inmates were ordered to be monitored with a SCRAM alcohol monitoring bracelet or a GPS, global positioning satellite bracelet. The probation department is responsible for these functions and had to physically install bracelets on many of these people. Needless to say, there's not a lot of social distancing going on with this process as you're physically putting on a bracelet on someone's ankle. Additionally, at bond hearings, many defendants were released with little or no bond rather than keeping them incarcerated in the jail. The court ordered many of these defendants report to probation's pretrial unit to be supervised while out on bond. The caseloads of our pretrial unit went from just under 1,400 people pre-pandemic to 1,800 people on bond currently being supervised. GPS and SCRAM alcohol monitoring went from 340 people pre-pandemic to a high of 650 in 2020. Juvenile home detention supervision also saw an increase in numbers as people were being released from secure detention. The cost of the probation department and electronic monitoring fees alone over the last 9 months of 2020 increased by $32,000. From the beginning of the pandemic, the probation department's mantra was all hands on deck. We want to make sure that the services we provide to those on supervision and the courts continued. I'm proud of every member of the probation department, from the support staff, the POs, to the supervisors, who bought into this approach to make sure that there were no service reductions. Again, thank you for the opportunity to speak here today.
Do you have any questions from the committee? Member Selman.
Thank you. And I don't need an answer now because I'm sure this is information you have elsewhere. It would just be new to me. I'd be interested in learning about the social services we provide to families when their juveniles are placed outside the county. Because I know especially as juveniles are, rehabilitating and getting the services they need, that connection with their families is really important. So I certainly don't need an answer today, but if that's just maybe information you could share with the committee over the next few weeks, I would find that really helpful.
I will certainly do that. I will point out that whenever a juvenile is on probation, we definitely include the family. We offer family services to try and keep that family together.
Awesome, thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? Well, I'd very much like to thank you. Member Pachalski and I came out and had a nice talk with you and then our chief judge about all the things you do. And it's not just taking care of people as they're through probation. I think you really are trying to on-ramp them onto a better life. And I appreciate you for what you do. And I think that's a great question, Member Salmon, about all those wraparound services that probation gets. So thank you so much for coming in. Snowy day.
Thank you.
Do we have any old business?
Yeah.
Jim Zay, do we have any old business?
No.
Member Eckhoff.
I'm glad in your opening comments you indicated that we're going to have that hearing in a couple of weeks regarding cost of the crime bill and the body cam. I went back and looked at some of my notes from 4 years ago, and I think I'm a little high on the $5 million mark I've been tossing around. I still think it's going to be very expensive, but I think it's maybe going to be reduced from what I was talking about before, and I'm interested in what staff is going to come up with for the actual cost of that. So just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I think, you know, what each group is kind of come with their numbers, and then I think we're going to have to tie that all together to get to that bottom line figure what you're talking about. So I think that's what we're trying to get to.
Good morning. This is Jeff. Just real quick, I did have an opportunity to email Member Eckhoff, and I am working with the state's attorney and the sheriff's office to come up with a budget and a number for that committee meeting.
I think Jeff's going to be our wind-up speaker at this, our bottom line figure. So we look forward to that. Any other old business? Any new business? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved Chaplin.
Second, Selman.
All right, roll call, please.
Member Chaplin,
Aye.
Member Covert,
Aye.
Member Desart,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
Member Garcia, Member Karjewski,
Aye.
Member Ozog,
Aye.
Member Pachalski,
Aye.
Member Schwarzy,
Aye.
Member Selman,
Aye.
Member Zay,
Aye.
Chair Renahan.
Aye. All right, thank you all very much. See you next time.